Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm from Millbrook Healthcare.
How may I help you, please?
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Oh, that's a lot better. Hello, I'm from Millbrook Healthcare. Oh, hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear?
Hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I
I'm
can
going to
hear
give you a
you.
call back.
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me, yeah?
I can hear you.
I think there's a delay on the phone.
Yes, I have a brain injury. I have difficulty speaking.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine. We have a part in for your wheelchair. We were just wondering if we could get that booked in for Monday. It's the front wheel for you.
Yes, I know, but I don't think the wheels are properly balanced.
I don't know. We'd have to obviously come out to fit it for you.
But they've been doing that for 21 years and haven't managed properly.
Okay, well, we have ordered it for you. We've got the part in. I just wanted to see if we could get that booked out for you. It's up to you.
Can you ask if the part has been balanced?
I would not know that information. I would have thought it would be.
Well, it hasn't been balanced for 21 years.
Okay, bear with me just one moment. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. So my colleague says that she's already had this conversation with you. I don't know when, a couple of weeks ago maybe. We don't actually balance them ourselves. She was saying that you said that you were going to buy a piece of equipment that can,
Yes,
or something like that.
I've paid for these wheels to be balanced. It cost me £150. But I don't see why
Okay.
I don't see why the wheelchair service can't do this work.
It's not something that we provide.
I understand that. So how
I'm not saying that they're not balanced. I'm not saying that at all. But it's not something, we don't have the machinery to do it.
I understand that.
My colleague's already explained that to you.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I've had to get them balanced.
Okay.
So I would like to know why do I have to get them balanced? Why can't the wheelchair service do this?
It's not something that they supply.
I understand that. I understand it's something they don't do, but I need to know why. Why?
I do not know why. I wouldn't be able to tell you. You'd have to contact wheelchair services.
You're not wheelchair services.
We're not wheelchair services, no. We're Millbrook Healthcare.
Can you please ask?
We've got the wheel in for you.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It's broken. It doesn't work unless it's balanced.
Okay, bear with me just one moment. Speaking.
Hello, can you hear me, Amy?
Hey, yes.
My name is Colton, and I'm trying to find out why I've not been able to get balanced wheels for my wheelchair for 21 years. I'm just told that it's something that's not provided, and I'd like to know why it's not provided.
I'd have to go back and ask my manager about why we're not, but I know that it's not. I mean, we spoke about this last week, didn't we? And you asked about it because you said you were going to buy something for it.
I don't remember that, Amy. I'm disabled with a brain injury, but I'm probably remember something very vaguely. So I found a few people who sell wheel balancing machines, but these things cost £5,000. And so what I did is I got some Invacare casters that look like they're the same spec, and I sent them to some people in Bristol and in Merseyside or the Wirral or whatever, and they charge like £150 to balance these wheels. And but the problem is that they're not on the wheelchair, and I just don't know even if they're allowed to be put on the wheelchair. Even though they're identical casters.
I'm sure Invacare wouldn't send them out.
Pardon?
If that was the case. If that was the case, I'm sure Invacare wouldn't send them out if they weren't able to be put on a wheelchair.
Shall I ask Invacare if they're allowed to be balanced before they're put on the wheelchair?
Of course. I mean, I'm sure they are. I don't see why they wouldn't be beforehand,
all right.
because
Good
they're
point.
sent out to be put on a wheelchair.
Yeah. So my
So
question is
obviously
this.
I don't know that side of things.
Yeah.
So I
But
can't tell you.
But I've had this problem for 21 years with the wheels constantly wobbling, and I would like to know why this is not a service provided by the wheelchair service.
I can email them and ask them.
Can you please explain that this has been documented for 21 years, and that I'm just trying to find I've had a brain injury, so I can never find the right words. Let me try to find the right words. I don't understand why this can't be sorted out on day one. I had my hospital operation that left me in a wheelchair in January 2004, and instead of providing any help, the hospital sent me to the wheelchair service. And the wheelchair service haven't been able to provide me with a wheelchair that I can use in 21 years. And it's causing me major problems in my life. It's caused me to have problems that I can't look after myself. My family has broken down, and I can't understand why there isn't any kind of, let me find the right word. Why is there no way to have this conversation with somebody in the NHS about this problem? Are you there, Amy?
Have you been in contact with wheelchair services?
I've been in contact with these people for 21 years. But the problem is,
I'm just asking.
but nobody wants to enter into the discussion with me about what's going wrong. That's the problem, and I don't know how to deal with this. I have written countless letters to the HCPC to report the occupational therapists and rehabilitation engineers as being not fit to practice. I've complained to the Clinical Commissioning Group, to the Primary Care Trust, to the Integrated Care Board, to the Council. I have written hundreds, maybe thousands of letters, yet nobody wants to enter into a dialogue with me. I don't want people just to throw complaint letters into the rubbish bin. I need somebody to enter into a dialogue with me about the issue. Why is this work not being done for 21 years? I was put in a wheelchair when I was 40 years old. I've had 20 years of my life destroyed by not being put into a proper wheelchair. You cannot. Can you imagine what that does? My eldest son was 10 years old at the time. Because my wheelchair was unsuitable, I was never able to bring up my own children. Some terrible things have happened to my children because I haven't been able to mobilize to look after them.
is I'll pass this on to wheelchair services and ask them to contact you regarding this.
Can you point out that I'm expecting the casters to arrive today by UPS, and I haven't even got permission from Invacare if these are the wheels are allowed to be balanced. You seem to think that it seems to be okay, but the problem is that you're asking.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the equipment is sent out to go onto wheelchairs, so I would have thought that it's okay. I don't know.
But if I've raised the concern that there's a problem, why is the problem not being escalated? And why am I after 21 years a person who can't organise things properly with a brain injury left to have to try and solve these problems myself? It's I'm just left here drifting around in an incompetent state.
I'm really sorry to go back to this, but did you order the casters yourself? Because we've actually got casters for you, and we're hoping to deliver them on Monday to you.
But I don't think they're going to work, Amy, because they're not been balanced. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm waiting for these I'm waiting for these alternative casters to come back by UPS. Let me just see if the app will update. Hold on. Here it is. I'm just going to refresh it to see if they're there. Come on, load up. No, they said they tried to deliver them at 8:30 this morning. They didn't, and so that I have to pick them up from a collection point. Hopefully, but I have to call Invacare now to see if this is something that's approved or not approved. Because they don't understand things at Invacare, and they don't understand things at the wheelchair clinic. They don't understand things. I've been to so many private wheelchair type of organisations, and nobody wants to know about this. It's just like, I don't know what the word is to describe it. It's a huge amount of extra work I have to do. My life has been taken over by this. I even have to build my own wheelchair because there isn't a wheelchair on the market that's suitable for me, for my level of disability. And the wheelchair I have to build, it's not even regulated by the Medicine Control Board, and I have to pay an extra £5,000 to have the testing done on it to get it approved, so that then the NHS clinicians are allowed to look at me in it. Otherwise, they're not even allowed to look at me in this wheelchair. £5,000 I have to pay. I don't know where to get that money from.
I'm ever so sorry. I mean, I can't. Unfortunately, I don't know that.
Yeah,
how that all works.
That's by the by. But I mean, in terms of my NHS wheelchair, I should call up Invacare right now and tell them that I've paid to have these casters balanced, and ask if they've got any objection to that.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that the casters are not balanced, because one person suggested to me it might be the frame there's a problem, and I'm pretty sure it's not the frame, because last year I tested a brand new wheelchair and it still had caster wobble, and so I'm sure it's not. That's why I'm having these casters specially balanced. But can you please, and I don't even know if it's going to work. I have to put them on the wheelchair, then I have to test the wheelchair, and then I have to come back to your organisation and say, look, I tested the wheelchair with some balanced casters and it's better. And if it's not any better, well, I've been barking up the wrong tree. But I still don't have proper casters on this wheelchair. Then that would be the case. But I'm hoping this is going to resolve it.
The ones that you're waiting for from UPS, what casters are they then?
They're just Invacare 200mm by 50mm pneumatic casters, identical to the ones I've got.
Are they ones that you bought?
I bought them, yes. I bought them because for whatever reason, Millbrook were not coming out with the casters, or they weren't communicating with me, so I didn't know what to do.
I mean, we did advise that the casters were on order. As I said, they're in stock now.
But you don't understand the problem.
No, I do understand.
No, you don't. No, let me explain. I don't need to mobilise at any point in the future. I need to mobilize right now, today. So the fact that these casters have to be ordered and that there's a lead time to get the parts is not acceptable. Because if I need to use a wheelchair now to take my children to the doctor or something like that, I can't wait for these parts to be ordered. That's the problem. Do you get me?
Yes, no, I understand.
Yeah, so that's why I ordered these things, and I'm absolutely convinced that whatever casters you get, they're going to be unbalanced. The reason being is because they are pneumatic casters, and therefore they've got a metal valve that's on one side of the wheel that it puts an imbalance into the wheel. That's why they wobble, because they're pneumatic, but they've not been counterbalanced. That's where the issue lies. But there's nobody, I cannot find anybody in the entire wheelchair industry globally who can address something like this. I've never even found an article about something like this. Sorry about this, Amy.
No, it's okay.
It's very difficult for me to speak about it's something like this without me taking the telephone and throwing it against the wall and smashing it, to be honest. Because I have a brain injury and I haven't got the mental capacity to deal with this type of subject matter. And I just want to know, it's difficult for me to predict what's going to happen in the future. And all I'm trying to say is if my solution has worked, then I'm going to have to say to somebody, why hasn't anybody thought about this for the last 21 years? That's what I would...
Unfortunately, I can't answer that question. But I mean, like I said, I will pass this back to wheelchair services for them to contact you about this.
Yeah, you tell them, but I can't do anything unless my test work is completed. And for some reason, and I'm looking at the screen right now, and it just says they tried to deliver them at 8:23 this morning, and nobody rang the bell. So that's just typical of how people work these days. They just want to dump it off at the depot and make you pick it up from there. So I'm waiting for these casters to turn up. Then I put them on the wheelchair myself. Then I test it. Would Millbrook object to me putting these casters on?
To my knowledge, it has to be equipment that we provide.
Well, exactly. So what am I supposed to do in this situation? Because the problem is that NRS went bankrupt, and I had a long conversation, a huge conversation with the official receiver, Mr. Allen, whatever his name, Gareth Jonathan Allen, and he didn't want to know anything about it. He kept telling me that he'd sent all the computer records to Millbrook head office, and that was it as far as he was concerned. And I've been left July, August, September, 2.5 months having to solve my own problems. So the fact is that whilst Millbrook don't approve, did Millbrook expect me just to be like lying in the street with a broken wheelchair for like 2.5 months? What's the official receiver dillies and dallies? I don't know, Emmy. I don't know. I've just been at my wit's end. I've got huge problems. You cannot believe it. I have a brain injury. I'm supposed to have a guardian, and my guardian gave up on me. They couldn't cope, and they disappeared on the 4th of June. That was like 4 weeks before. When did NRS go bankrupt? Was it end of July or the end of June?
End of July.
Right. Well, that's 2 months before they went bankrupt. And then I had to have a greater level of mobility, and my wheelchair can't cope. And I had to take the replacement wheelchair that I'm building. I had to take it from one factory to another factory, and then I got in trouble with the police, and I'm being prosecuted. And yeah, exactly. And I haven't got the mental capacity to defend myself in a court of law, because I would end up having seizures. And I've got no help whatsoever for my mobility from Amersham Wheelchair Services, from the people in Oxford. The people in Oxford won't even send me a copy of my notes.
Why are you asking Oxford?
I don't.
I thought you were based in Aylesbury. I'm in Buckinghamshire.
I think it's because Amersham Wheelchair Service sent me to the Nuffield Orthopaedic Centre to try and resolve my
Oh, right, okay.
for an assessment. But the problem is that the people who are doing my assessments are not. They have several. One problem is they haven't got the right equipment to offer me, and secondly, they don't have the skills to explain to me that they haven't got the right equipment to offer me, and secondly, and thirdly, they don't have the ability to integrate with the solution that was proposed by my rehabilitation engineer 4 years ago in 2021. They just don't want to. They don't want to. There's no willingness. They don't want to. I can't find the right words, Amy. They just, as I said, the dialogue. They don't want to. They don't want to enter into that kind of dialogue, which leaves me, as a brain injured person without the right wheelchair, just abandoned. Do you follow what I'm saying, Amy?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Let's just deal with things as they are today. I'm waiting for the UPS to get these parts. I'll contact Invacare to see if they have any objection to the spec being the spec. What do you call it? The specifications of the balance being improved.
Okay.
And does Millbrook have to do it, or can I get a private organisation to do it, to put the casters on?
Well, again, we would fit the equipment that we've provided as you've bought it. Technically, it's your equipment. So
this is so difficult. I understand that. Let me ask Invacare about the fitting of these casters as well, to see if there's any way around this. And just for testing purposes, you see. I say maybe they can just be fitted for testing purposes and then the other ones put back. Does that make any sense, Amy?
It does.
And then if they're tested to be better, then I have to come back would I come back to you or your manager or to Amersham Wheelchair Service? Who would I come back to about the fact that I had found casters that were better? Of course, if they're not better, I won't be doing that.
Probably would be ourselves as well as wheelchair services.
Yes, because it's definitely a repair. Because if the casters are not balanced, that to me, it's like they're broken or something similar. So shall I come back to you then, Amy, on this?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
So what I'll do, if I can get these things tested today or tomorrow, I'll then send you, if they're going to work, then I will send an email to you, addressed to you, about this, and ask about how the matter should proceed.
Okay. As I said, then I'll email wheelchair services about what we can do as well.
Yeah. One quick question, Amy. I've bought 2 sets of casters and sent one to a factory in Bristol and one in Wirral. If I find a third factory that can do balancing, because all of these factories have got different equipment and can balance them to different quality, would Millbrook be open to me sending these casters to an engineer to balance them?
Again, that would be something we'd have to confirm because we'd need equipment to do that.
Well, could you please?
So that's
they charged me £150 for that in Bristol. So can you please ask? I don't know what they're going to charge me up at the Wirral. Can you please ask somebody there if Millbrook, even if I have to pay myself, are Millbrook open to having those casters sent to a person who can balance them? The reason being is that because the valve is on one side of the wheel, it causes imbalance and causes caster flutter. Or do you want that in writing?
That would be great if you could, and then I can try and get that information.
What email am I using for you, Amy?
Sorry?
What email address do I ask for permission? What email address?
Oh, okay. If I give you our email, which is contact us.
Yeah.
Buckinghamshire.
One moment. B-U-C. Oh, contact us Buckinghamshire at millbrookhealthcare.co.uk.
That's the one.
Amy, R-E, R-E, Millbrook, casters to, okay, I'll put that down. I will try and send the message today, Amy. I might forget, but I'll put a note down. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.